And just like that, the Six Nations for 2023 are over. Massive congrats to Ireland for winning the Grand Slam, thoroughly deserved it, and to be honest, they're head and shoulders above anyone else in the world at the moment. And also, how about finishing it off with Johnny Sexton in his last game at the Aviva in the Six Nations to become top point scorer in the Six Nations. It was literally just written in the stars, so massive congrats to Ireland and serious threats for the World Cup. Saying that, France have also proved that they're a decent number 2 in the world. Had a shaky game against Ireland, but the other games that they played, they dominated every side. Maybe shaky against Italy in the first game, but they came through. It's also been great interacting with all of you guys on each of my videos. Really enjoyed this year. I think we've had the most views and comments of any year previously, so the channel is growing, the community are becoming much stronger, and I can't wait to do it all again next year. But first, obviously, we've got the Women's Six Nations, which I'll be covering, but only on shorts, and then we've got the big one, the World Cup, at the end of this year. Let me know down in the comments if you are excited. So looking at my team for round 5, a decent score, 790, which isn't bad. Standouts, James Lowe's captain scored over 100 points. Probably picked the wrong captain. Ramos was obviously better. However, we're at the tail end, so I was happy with 50 points still. As I said, Ramos, top performer, along with Dan Sheehan, absolutely smashed it out of the park, almost 100 points, which is absolutely crazy for a hooker if you think about it. And he came off pretty early on in the game too, so absolutely nuts from him. Jack Dempsey, another really huge, solid pick, also really cheap as well, so it just shows in fantasy you haven't always got to pick the highest budgeted players. Cheap players can do an absolute madness as well. Fischetti as well, a really decent prop option, has been one of the standouts of the whole tournament really as well. Almost scored 50 points, so hugely happy with him. And then outside of that, Matt Fagerson was a pretty decent super sub for me. I think Ali Price was slightly better, scored around 70 points. But anything above 50 for a super sub, you can't complain really. So I was looking at the JG Rugby leagues, and to be honest, I think I've done pretty well in this year's tally. It's either that or you guys are just slacking, but I'm going to say that it is my knowledge and power has got me here. So as you can see, I came 4th in this one, but number 1, 2 and 3 in the first JG Rugby League is Stepperer, Stingray and Crew Warrior. Massive congrats to you, and huge congrats to Stepperer as well. Hopefully I'm saying that right, for scoring over 4,000 points. I know how hard it was, I was so close to that, along with Stingray and Crew Warrior. So massive well done for hitting that 4,000. But in the second JG Rugby League, I actually came 6th, so down a few. And number 1, 2 and 3 all scored over 4,000 points. So huge congrats to Borghito, No Beard, No Good and Stuart Young. I think Borghito is actually first at the moment with the first league and the second league. So huge congrats to you all. Then for the third and final JG Rugby League, we've got Stepperer, number 1 again, Tom Hardman and Stuart Hoggs Dentist, which, great name by the way. I was in 5th, so 4th, 5th and 6th for each of my leagues. I'm pretty happy with it, seeing as though there's about 100 people in each of them. But we do have an overall winner, and it is Borghito with a massive 4,075 points. So huge congrats to you. Unfortunately, the only thing that you win on this channel is a shout out, but I'm hoping that's enough, and I'm hoping it's enough to keep you watching for another year. So looking at my rankings in England and the overall Six Nations, I actually came 108th in England, so just outside the top 100, which obviously you'd like to be in the top 100, but look, I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. And then as for the overall Six Nations, I did come just outside the top 300, so 310th. Once again, you can't be mad at that. I think there's well over tens of thousands of players who play this game, so if you're in the hundreds, I think that's a pretty decent score. I just want to say again, really appreciate all of you who do watch my videos and do interact. We did want to get to 2,000 subscribers before the end of the Six Nations. I think we're about 70 people short. However, I'm still happy with the community that we've grown, and hopefully you all stay along for what is going to be a pretty exciting year, especially with the World Cup at the end of it. So thanks for following this year's Six Nations Rugby Fantasy. As I said, I'll have short videos on the women's channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.